Infinity Castle is one of the most broken abilities out there, as it lets you invite your bros from all over the country, get them to your place instantly, and throw a party in a mansion big enough for Joe and his mama. However, in the right hands, it can also conquer heroes, nations, and even plot armor. Hello comrade, my name is Mahis. Come, get yourself a beverage and sit down with me. We got a manual to write. In case you didn't get a hint, we're talking about a power the final villain of the series actively employs until the story ends in the least expected way possible. So here's the spoiler warning for this video. They are here. In order to use it properly, we have to understand what Infinity Castle actually is and how it functions. Simply put, it is a structure created and controlled through Nakimi's blood demon art, similar to a Harry Potter tent, where its volume is orders of magnitude greater than the space it occupies, which in turn means that it exists in the real world and is not a separate subspace. In chapter 183, it is shown to burst out of the ground, so it's reasonable to assume it was there the entire time, or after Nakimi's death, as some foreign bodies were still inside, it caused the space-time fuck-up preventing it from disappearing, and it popped up in our world Lemillian style. Anyway, the only reliable in and out way from said castle is exclusively through its wielder, although it's not 100% clear whether she binds doors to specific coordinates or is just wherever whenever type deal. This is quite an important factor for our analysis here, as depending on the answer, the amount of preparation for any kind of activity will vastly differ. Like, this is our TS 101. Can it pierce the fog of war? Do we need some troops present? Or how long does it even take to set up an exit point? I will operate under the following assumptions. The Infinity Castle is only accessed through Nakimi. Its space is effectively limitless. Its properties like gravity and structure can be changed at will. Its effective range is enough for all our operations, as it could reach the Slayer's HQ, and for the sake of the argument, only one outside door can be open at a time. Next, I'd like to establish why I believe this power to be so utterly broken that Muzan could have won even against the thickest plot armor. Any type of war is all about logistics. Not the amount of troops you have, not the size of your bank account, nor the manufacturing capabilities of your nation. Obviously, those are important, but it's delivery, distribution, and application of the above mentioned, as well as the speed at which you can do that. History has seen plenty of cases that prove logistics to be one-off, if not the sole aspect of the long-term success of any particular country. Alexander's Empire, Roman Empire, Babylonian Empire mostly fell due to their large size and not being able to deal with all the uprising issues in time. Of course, before actual historians swarm me, there were so many other things involved that attributing their failure to only one problem is disingenuous at best. But, case in point, while Genghis Khan is indiscriminately clapping every pair of cheeks he comes across on his way to Mediterranean, if something happens at his capital and he has to urgently respond, it will take months for him to do so, as you need to horse ride the message to him, then send the orders back. It's gonna be like Imperium getting word of a distant world being attacked, sending forces to defend, and arriving to see no planet because it was destroyed a century ago. And in case you say, oh, this hasn't been an issue for a while now, do you really think a certain artist would have lost if he could just teleport his forces to Moscow? No, Nazi Germany had such an overwhelming military advantage that it clowned on everything in its close proximity, and the only reason they couldn't blitzkrieg the shit out of Soviets is due to the distance they had to cover, the enormous room for retreat, and an insane amount of resources, both human and not, that they had access to. Long story short, the means of victory weren't delivered quickly enough, which allowed the USSR to gather up its strength and retaliate in time. Time. Again, teleportation saves so much time that you can utilize strategies previously unavailable, and I can think of at least 2.5 animes that showcase how good this ability is. Firstly, we got the tale of my favorite adorable blue blob, reincarnated as a slime. A perfect example of how you'd use space-time abilities on a large scale during an actual warfare scenario. They've started with gathering intel, a combination of words that doesn't exist in Jackson's wannabe vocabulary, proceeded with preparation safely at home, and began the execution of a plan, which also included the execution of a good chunk of Clayman's force. Who the fuck wrote this? With the power of instant movement between places, Rimuru was able to evacuate a portion of a country the size of America, set up a devastating ambush, and send a tactical waifu towards his enemy's capital in less than 24 hours. How does this apply to Demon Slayer's situation? Not that well, other than disrupting the core supply chains, which will require Muzan to think outside the box and actively look for them first. There are no armies getting clashed, no fights for territory control, no sieges. It's just a series of skirmishes in hopes of reducing the enemy's numbers.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Which is nearly identical to what another association was doing, quite successfully I must add. The Chimera and Extermination Squad, with Nov and his ability being the key to that operation. At its core, his net power is similar to Lila's, as he creates a subspace of several rooms to which he can create portals from outside. Not as luxurious nor spacious, but it gets the job done. They infiltrate the enemy territory, set up a lot of these portals, and cover them up. Then, as the adversaries come out to see what's up, they get teleported to their inevitable doom one by one. Well, got to give it to a quintuple-brained double-digit IQ antagonist. He was on the right track there, except his demented ass got confused and he split up his forces instead of the Slayers. Man, I've seen some stupid shows, but this... Wait, I feel a disturbance in the force. Something's approaching. The third show that did teleportation well, and it was even done by the villains. No, my burning hatred. My ultimate nemesis, Black Clover! Oh, how it pains me to compliment it, but credit where credit is due. During the invasion of the royal capital, the baddies bait Fugolian with this Walmart Naitora and send him straight to a guy I definitely didn't expect to be bad. Who takes his right arm and sends him back as a message that plot armor is strong with this one? Yeah, regardless of how mentally challenged the outcome was, it was still a very good move by the villains that honestly made me feel sorry for the Demon Slayer, because if Black Clover did something better than you, there's just no coming back from that. Alright, enough sarcasm. Now that we know how the castle works and seen a few practical examples, let's help Mr. Fancy Hat find a good strategy. Number 1, do exactly what Hunter x Hunter did. Send them all into different parts of the maze and let Kokushibo go for a walk. He'd be happy to get some dueling action, and the core members will be disposed of with 100% success rate. Second option is to deploy it early in the plot during the Swordsmith's Village event. As soon as you've discovered the location of the village, send Gyoko, Hantengu and some cannon-fodder demons to attack it from outside in order to draw every capable fighter out of the village. Once they're stuck in combat, send Koku, Doma and Akaza inside to have fun and to dramatically emerge from the main entrance behind the Slayers after they killed everyone in there. Boom! Not only are the core members sandwiched, they also lose all of their morale as the village they were supposed to protect has fallen and the fight would be over. Granted, that way demons might not recognize Nezuko being the Sunwalker, but if Muzan was smart enough to employ this kind of strategy, he wouldn't have missed her being alive after a night spent with the Demon Daddy. Actually, no! They won't be able to kill Nezuko without Muzan, so he'll have a chance to at least take a look at her first. Anyway, the point is, this entire assault will take like half an hour at most, and then everybody will be teleported back to whatever they were doing with minimal disruption. There are so many more cool strategies you can create with the Infinity Castle. However, I want to add more of a day-to-day application of this handy ability. Have it be your surveillance hub, in which a select few demons will constantly jump between Upper Moon's locations to make sure none of them are in danger. It doesn't cost Muzan anything, it can't really be tracked, Nakimi would have something to do rather than just sitting there all day. Seriously, she must get fucking bored! If it was me, I'd get her an air-conditioned room, 24/7 access to snacks, a gym, a spa, a nails place, whatever floats her boat, cause she's practically a keystone of my livelihood and I want her to feel comfortable and respected. Speaking of comfortable livelihood, the last strategy I want to suggest is something my fellow marketing degree people might find funny. Do nothing. That's right. If this generation of Slayers is getting too out of hand, seize all your operations, kill/recall all demons, and take a good old vacation inside your dream home until they die of old age. With the power of teleportation, you can get food and entertainment delivered straight to your place. You can abduct and Mayuri the shit out of people to your heart's content. Make a couple of duckies to keep you company, or Gyotaros, I don't judge. You're an evil overlord, for fuck's sake. The possibilities are as endless as your castle. It was Magius, self-inserting into the microphone. Check out Discord and Patreon in the description if you like. Otherwise, have a great whatever time of the day you have. Until next time, cheers.